what part of the job really taxes you most creatively?
I think it's a constant feeling that you're behind, that you're late all the time. You don't have enough scripts written. You don't have enough time to do anything. I remember when I was running Dharma and Greg in the last season that I finally said, people can't follow me into the men's room and have conversations while I use the men's room.
Anymore.
What? Stop it. I said, stop it. And correctly I am saying people, I am not saying men. and you have it's a constant feeling of being overwhelmed, and also as I said before, because there's no preparation for it, because you're not schooled in it. Have you had the experience of someone in your office crying?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's me.
And sometimes you're alone. What? This wasn't supposed to be my life.
Yeah.
And the first time, it's just, and I remember, it's funny, I told this story just the other day to somebody, because we're talking about moments when you're overwhelmed as a showrunner. And 9/11. We were in production on Dharma and Greg during 9/11. We went back to work a day later or 2 days later, and we make the decision of, everybody, what do we do? And ultimately we go back to work, and everybody's working. And I'm in the writer's room, and the line producer comes in, and he takes me out, and he says, I've been down on the stage. When you guys come down for the run-through today, the crew is expecting you to lead a prayer.
Oh my God, I would have flipped out. Prayer.
I would so have taken advantage of that moment. in an inappropriate and horrible way.
Well, but I'm going there. I have no.
Did you do it?
Yes.
You led people in a prayer?
I did, because they
Do you
said.
remember what it was?
It was something nice. I'm not always cynical. I have a warm, fuzzy side. But there's no preparation. But there are all sorts of moments like that, because it's people and stuff and people who, and you have to, when you have to fire somebody, when you have to and nobody, and again, it's the the clip that of you talking about there's no one
to lean on.
There's no one to lean on. You're the thing people are leaning on. And I talk to other showrunners. Like if I'm in a crisis, I will call. I remember Jeff Greenstone when I was a bad job is I'd taken over Good Morning Miami in the second season, which I quit in the middle. But I would walk over to Will and Grace and talk to Jeff Greenstein. You have to find another showrunner. Yeah. You have to find another person who does this, because to try and explain to anybody else, including your spouse, what you're going through, it would take so long to set up the problem.
Right.
Yeah. It's true.
That's actually a very interesting point, because it's one of the things that a number of the showrunners that we've interviewed in the film have kind of said, that there isn't a bar on Sunset that you can drive to and share your problems with everybody. And one or two of the people have also said, in watching the film, that it's fantastic to actually see that everybody does kind of share a lot of the same problems, griefs, and difficulties, So.
Yeah, and I found, I didn't really have that. Again, I felt like even talking to another showrunner, like to set up my particular situation at Caprica would have been too hard, where I had so little training, because it had never been an aspiration, so I'd never even sort of watched showrunners with an eye toward watching what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I really felt at sea, and there were things like, I didn't know when I should push back. Things like I didn't have an assistant, and I kept saying, like, I really think I should have an assistant. And I sort of kept getting a no. And it's like, well, how far do you push? I didn't have anyone saying, like, no, you really need an assistant, really push. So I just sort of, oh, okay. And then there were other decisions where I'm like, well, I can tell that I don't know what the right decision is here. But I suspect if I jump in and make it forcefully, right or wrong, at least we can deal with the consequences and no one will just be sitting around not knowing. But every time I did that, I would sort of be told, yeah, okay, thanks for the input. We actually already solved it, or we're doing it this way, or it can't be done that way. And I was so I could not figure out a way to get the reins in my hands. And I wonder if I'd taken it started to occur to me, I wish I'd taken the showrunner training program, because there is a class that to a certain extent schools you. So the year after Caprica, I actually was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out what I did wrong. I'm gonna go learn the stuff I didn't learn. I went to and did the thing to go in the showrunners training program and got turned down. Even after having done the job, wow. I could not get in I was not qualified to be trained to do the thing that I had just failed at. Wow. So this is why Brad Bell runs Husbands and is fantastic at it, because I was like, I wish I could teach you how to do this, kid, but I can't. So you've got the showrunner gene. I don't. Go learn it on your own.
I've had an interesting, because Bones has gone so long, a number of people have gone on to create and run their own shows out of Bones. And one of my favorite writers came back, and this is how clueless I am, and he said, look, when I worked here with you, I just thought you were a foolish, callow asshole. He's a novelist, so he uses words like callow. He said, I thought you did everything wrong. I couldn't understand your thinking, he said, and I have now had a show run for 2 episodes. I owe you a total apology. This is the worst. And he said that you can stand beside, and this is my experience too, you can stand beside a showrunner and think, well, you should do this, you should do that. And then when you're actually the showrunner, it's like all of a sudden you're doing it in a hurricane or something, or people are throwing rocks at you. You can't hear things properly. You don't have any perspective on what you're doing, so you can only do the best you can.
You start yelling at people, and you get mean?
Yeah. You can't. I tried very hard not to get mean, but I've done it, and I've fired people, and I have hollered, and all of a sudden, everyone's worked for those showrunners who no one's allowed to follow them into the bathroom, or meet their eyes, or
I think that's reasonable. There's a big line. There's a big line between
meet your eyes.
There is. But I understand. Don't meet his eyes. Right. I've worked for those people too. Don't meet so and so's eyes, and don't initiate a conversation. Do not initiate a conversation. If he speaks to you, you can speak to him. And I used to think that's stupid. And now I can, because my office. I want to go get a cup of coffee. I have to pass 6 desks, my own assistant, the co-executive producers, and technical advisor, to get a cup of coffee. And I have to be the guy who says, I'm walking along yelling, don't anyone talk to me, I'm just getting a goddamn cup of coffee, I'm going back, and it never works. I have my own bathroom in my office.
Oh, that's nice.
On Big Bang I do, on Dharma I did.
That Big Bang show is doing well. You should.
But you know what? Because I turned over the day-to-day show running of Big Bang last year to Steve Milaro, and one of the things that had to be corrected this year is he had to get an office with a bathroom.
Smart man.